Welcome to the Omnia Sol Art Show, the glitch art video talk show hosted by Omnia Sol. Episode 37. Hello, and welcome to the Omnia Sol Art Show. I am your host, Omnia Sol, and this is a glitch art video talk show. Today, this morning, whenever you're watching the show, we are glitching the VHS of Vincent, The Life and Death of Vincent van Gogh, which was a 1987 documentary film by the Australian director Paul Cox, and it explores the last 8 years of Vincent van Gogh's life. And this is all from Wikipedia. I'm not didn't do a massive amount of research, but Cox was attracted to the project because of his personal admiration for Vincent van Gogh. I found him such a compassionate, wonderful human being that attracted me above all. I found him always honest, always real, always doing his utmost, and I related very much to his type of loneliness. It's the loneliness, the dreadful loneliness that I've known all my life, that was still much stronger for me when I tried to become a filmmaker. You know, up to 30, 35, I was terribly alone. I was not equipped for the world at all. And at that level, that is a very similar background to Vincent. So the theme of the episode was actually a theme that my coworker Paul suggested a few months back, almost not quite a year ago, but definitely last spring. I was looking for more ideas for themes for episodes. And I asked Paul, what would you, if you were to watch a glitch art video talk show, what theme would you like me to explore? And Paul had the theme of romance. And I thought about it, and I did not make it. I did not make that episode for a number of reasons. One, it's not that I'm not a romantic person. I am. It's just I have not had a romantic relationship in quite a long time, and I didn't know what I would have to add to that subject. But that I thought about with exploring the subject, maybe around Valentine's Day, maybe do it then, glitch a bunch of rom-coms. But I decided to take a more nuanced approach to the theme of romance today. For me personally, I've been in a number of relationships over the years. Some stayed friends with people, some not talking to people anymore, that sort of thing, kind of how everyone is. But the past few years, I have not had romantic relationships. And part of the reason is I get extremely nervous and I'm extremely afraid of rejection. And when I do get rejected, I don't know how to process those emotions, and it sends me into a spiral of depression. I don't enjoy that. One thing too that I realized with quitting alcohol and becoming relatively sober, California sober, if you will, is that I did not know how to pursue relationships without the personal aid of alcohol. Dutch courage, as they call it. We're glitching Vincent van Gogh, the Dutch artist who is also an alcoholic. I'm a half Dutch, recovering alcoholic artist myself. And I would need Dutch courage to pursue any sort of relationships, to put my feelings out there. Took some sort, for the most part, unless it's you're really vibing with someone and you can just tell that those feelings are mutual, for the most part, to let any kind of feelings known, I would need the aid of alcohol. And without the aid of alcohol, I am learning to, what does dating look like now? What does dating look like now in 2021 in the midst of the never ending pandemic that, a lot of us are vaccinated, but it's still, we're wearing masks everywhere. It's like, and I look at dating apps, and dating apps are awful. They're, at least for me, maybe they seem to work for other people. I know people who have found love on dating apps. People are engaged because of dating apps. For me, dating apps are just it's an evolved form of hot or not, and I tend to fall in the not category. With Tinder, for instance, if I swipe right on any man in Chicago, any masculine person in Chicago, unless they're like an extremely like buff gym gay, I will usually match immediately. With women and femmes in Chicago, I'm not gonna be honest, I hardly ever match at all. Never match. Bumble, never got any messages. Yeah. I've never gone on Grindr. Maybe I should try Grindr. I'm not sure, but I'm sick of dating apps. And the thing too is like I'll match with like men in Chicago, and then the men will never message me. Never ever ever message me. I'll try to message. That's where I'm saying it's hot or not, because it's like I match with these people and I try to message and I hear nothing back. It's like what is anyone actually using this app how it's intended, or are we all just like swiping right if the person's hot, swiping left if the person's not, and then just going about our lives? So I have taken a proactive approach. I think I'm ready to date again. I think I'm ready to try dating once again, despite COVID, despite depression, despite, I've been sober for long enough. I think I'm ready to try dating again. So instead of doing the traditional dating techniques, I have decided to make a Google form, a dating application, which I will post in the show notes. If you're watching the show and you want to date me, then please fill out this form. The link will be in the show notes. It's a Google Docs form dating application. And I got to the most important parts of the pinnacle of dating people. Like, these jokes are going to seem silly, and most of the responses have been silly and have been just like friends kind of trolling me about it. But so the first question right off the bat, what are your thoughts on time travel? Second question, what are your thoughts on magic? Third question, what are your thoughts on extraterrestrial life? Fourth question, how important is art to your life? Why do you want to date me? How would you describe your religious or philosophical beliefs or lack thereof? How would you describe your political beliefs, convictions, or lack thereof? And then finally, name and phone number. And those questions right off the bat may seem a little silly. And I would agree with you that they are kind of silly. And they're purposely silly, but they also, I think, pretty deep, loaded questions. Because when you ask someone what their opinion on time travel is, the answers available are definitely exist, probably exist, doesn't exist, or other. And other you can fill in. These type of questions, these big questions, will tell me so much about the person. And right off the bat, if someone is just like strongly time travel does not exist, magic does not exist, there's no the extraterrestrials question especially, the universe is so massive that if you are just right off the bat, aliens do not exist, there's no possible way they could ever exist, then it's not going to work out. Because it's like, if your mind is so closed off that you can't even contemplate the existence of life forms on other planets outside of Earth, then it's not going to work out. It's not going to work out. So why not just like get that, instead of, going on multiple dates, feel like, instead of jumping through all these hoops, why not figure out right off the bat if this is going to work or not? And I think these questions do. The religious question is more, I'm just interested. I feel like I could definitely date someone with differing religious beliefs or like metaphysical beliefs than me. Same with politics. I definitely could date someone with different politics. It's just I don't want, not that a fascist would be filling out this form to begin with, but I don't want to date a fascist. I don't want to date a Republican. If someone's like super strong Democrat and is like hanging pictures of like Hillary Clinton or like Bill Clinton or, you know, any of the Clintons, if anyone has any posters of any of the Clintons in their house and it's not like an ironic joke, then it's not going to work out. I'm sorry. It's not. So that's the main reason I put that in there. But yeah, the main reason for doing this documentary about Vincent van Gogh is for me to take a nuanced interpretation and understanding of romance, not just romantic romance, but like not just like romantic romance. That's not a phrase. Not just, what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that although Vincent van Gogh suffered from depression and he inevitably killed himself, his art is now so beloved by so many people. So many people draw inspiration from it, find beauty and existence from it, find so much love of life and existence. There's so much life affirmation in his work that was not loved when he was alive. And so for me, romance is two things. Yes, talking about my love life or lack thereof and my pursuit of a love life, but also the romance of everyday life, of art creation, and of finding. I'm not saying that my art is anywhere comparable to Vincent van Gogh, but one thing I have in common with Vincent van Gogh, and one thing a lot of artists have in common with Vincent van Gogh, is being underappreciated or feeling underappreciated. And so everyone wants the roses while they can still smell them. But sometimes my point of this episode is that sometimes you have to buy yourself roses. You have to if you are an artist, you have to look at your work and not be overly critical of it. Look in the mirror and be like, I'm a badass. I'm an artist. I was put on this planet, and despite everything, despite low paying jobs, despite everything, I cannot live without creating art. I'm going to live the artist life. And that's the life I'm pursuing. That's a life a lot of my artist friends pursue, because we cannot not make art. We can't quit art. But then there's also, on the flip side of it, there is this romanticization of the poor artist, especially the starving artist archetype with Vincent van Gogh, which I think needs to end. I think needs to end as fast as we possibly can. People who glamorize a life of starvation and depression and underappreciation, we got to end this. We got to end this. What's the point of someone's art being so well regarded when they're not here? When it's, you know, how do we end that? I don't know. Paying artists, like, you know, in the 1930s during the Great Depression, there was an art movement that was a new deal for artists. It was during the depths of the Great Depression in the 1930s and into the early years of World War II. The federal government supported the arts in unprecedented ways. For 11 years between 1933 and 1943, federal tax dollars employed artists, musicians, actors, writers, photographers, and dancers. Never before or since has the government so extensively sponsored the arts. The New Deal Arts Project provided work for jobless artists, but they also had a large mission to promote American art and culture and to give more Americans access to what President Franklin Roosevelt described as an abundant life. the project saved thousands of artists from poverty and despair and enabled Americans all across the country to see an original painting for the first time, attend their first professional live theater, or take their first music or drawing class. So like, there are ways that, I'm not saying that's the only way, but there are ways. Like, what if, Vincent van Gogh went his whole life in the depths of depression, in the depths of alcoholism, not selling paintings, or like, for one, he painted, it talks about in the documentary how he painted this sailor, and then instead of being paid for it, the sailor just like wanted him to buy him food. And he ended up being like, he ended up actually buying, more food. The restaurant bill was more expensive than the actual price of the painting. But what if there was a new deal for artists, and artists were financially supported by, like, we pay our we pay taxes. We run the state. As much as people want to think of government as outside of the people, working people can take it back. I'm not, I will forever believe that. Call me an idealist, but I do think that the working class has the power to run the state that runs our lives. And I'm not saying that the New Deal for artists is like the only way, but if Vincent van Gogh had gotten a check, and he did in the course of his years of painting, he did thousands of paintings that are now the highest selling paintings ever. If he had plenty of money to live, to eat, to keep painting, if he had a help with like recovery and therapy for his alcoholism, therapy for his depression, who knows what kind of art he could have made. And it's my opinion that people who glamorize starving artists, it's like, oh no, I need like to be depressed to make good art. That is not true at all. And I know that firsthand from someone who has struggled with depression for decades, is that the best art I have made doesn't come out of depression, because when I'm depressed, I can't even work on art. I end up just sleeping all day. But when I'm feeling better about life, that's when my best art comes out, is the life affirming enjoyment of life. That's where my best art comes, is the love of life. So yeah, that is the theme of the episode. And we are going to go ahead and move to our first segment of the show. This is the segment where I drink a beverage. This is, of course, what am I drinking tonight? So tonight I am drinking more of Demon Slayer tea. It's so good. It's so good. So this is from Leslie, formerly Moon Temple Tarot, but now you can find Leslie's teas at the Bohemian Outpost on Instagram, probably other social medias as well, but definitely on Instagram. So check out the Bohemian Outpost. Some of the best tea I've ever had, like the cacao with the yerba mate and the black tea. It's so good. It's such a good morning tea just to like kickstart my morning. And I've been using it. I used to do a lot of English breakfast tea with a little bit of sugar and a little bit of almond milk. And I still will do that from time to time, but I've been really enjoying just this like black tea. I'll do this in the morning, and then I'll do the lavender Earl Grey at more in the afternoon. And Leslie also sent me some like a sleep blend, which I'm very excited to try. So, and some chai. I think I talked about the orange chai on the show before. I know I've talked about Demon Slayer before, but it's just, it's so good. But anyways, that has been what am I drinking tonight? All right, we are going to go ahead and play our first song of the night. Our featured artist of the week is someone we've had on the show before, Late Night Bad Boy, has a new album out with DJ Cheetah. The album is called Evansville Topics, Topics with an X, OST. So I think it's like Evansville Topics Original Soundtrack is probably what the OST stands for. But it's like it's really good. It's really good, like electronic music, DJ music going kind of back and forth with, the first song will be DJ Cheetah. Next song will be Late Night Bad Boy, just back and forth, just hit after hit. The album is completely free online. You can go to Late Night Bad Boy, which will be in the show notes. Night is spelled Nite. Boy is spelled BOI.bandcamp.com. And there you can download the full album, all 16 songs. But this is the first song off the album by DJ Cheetah. The song is called Rick and Morty. So we will be back with you after the song. I think you'll really enjoy it, and we will talk to you soon.
Well, at least he didn't die in vain. He got these crystals. And these babies just saved this lame-ass party! Wubba lubba dub dub! Play something. Somebody play something.
Ricky Morty. 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 Rick.
Oh, you look malnourished. officially over.
All right. Thank you to Late Night Bad Boy and DJ Cheetah for providing the music for tonight. We are going to go ahead and move to our next segment of the show. It is the time of the show where I Read your fortune. It is time for
Card of the show.
For tonight's card of the show. Since it is the romance episode, we are going to ask the tarot deck, what do I need to know? And this is the universal eye. So if you're watching it, this applies to you. Anyone who is watching this show, this applies to you. And tonight it's going to apply to me since I'm the host. But what do I need to know? What information do I need to know about my love life? So let's go ahead and shuffle. Here's the first shuffle. Ooh. The deck did not want to be shuffled tonight for some reason. Here is shuffle number 2. Still, I don't know what's up with the cards. It's like they're not giving me a bunch of grief today. Maybe the cards don't like the question. Here is shuffle number 3. What do I need to know about my love life? And holy shit. Holy shit. The card of the show is, I will explain why I am laughing. The card of the show is the 8 of Pentacles, which, I mean, granted, it's not a video podcast, so you have to put a little bit of faith in me that I did shuffle the deck properly. But why I'm laughing is because the 8 of Pentacles is my personal signifier card. When I do readings for myself and you're asked to like not draw a signifier, but like pick a signifier, I will pick the 8 of Pentacles. For me personally, why I've picked the 8 of Pentacles as my personal signifier in the tarot is because it shows someone who is using tools to carve out pentacles. And for me personally, I always kind of saw a juxtaposition of the work behind this card and the work that I was doing as an artist for so long in my artistic career as a wood block printmaker, carving blocks of wood to create beautiful works of art. I always identified with the 8 of Pentacles, and also 8 has always been a very significant number for me. I like that 8 on its side creates this infinity symbol, this Ouroboros type symbol of eternity or infinity. But I also, I was born on October 8th, so it's just like a very significant number for me personally. And I do a daily card of the day reading just on my tarot app, and my card of the day, believe it or not, and that's why I'm saying you have to put a little faith in the fact that I did actually shuffle since I'm not on video right now, but my card of the day on October 18th, when I'm recording this episode, was the 8 of Pentacles. And now I'm doing this card of the show and asking, what do I need to know about my love life? And I'm getting the 8 of Pentacles. So like I said before, this card has a lot to do with work, success that's yet to be achieved. But we're going to go ahead and find the app's actual definition of the card. So the divinatory meaning: apprenticeship, a profitable undertaking, employment, commission, skill, handiwork, the arts. You need to master a new skill in order to succeed. A new period of learning is beginning. The skill you need is something hands-on, possibly in the arts or crafts. If you apply yourself, your new skill may lead to renown, employment, and commissions of your work in the future. So there you go. How to apply this to your love life, you might ask. Well, for starters, looks like you need to use your hands. I don't mean to be dirty about that, but it looks like your love life, what you need to know about your love life is that you need to learn a new skill And that skill might be with your hands. So keep that in mind. You can interpret that as you will. I interpret it as, I've put feelers out there. I've tried to, I have tried to get back into the dating world again and have not had success. And for me personally, the Eight of Pentacles means that I need to not give up. I need to keep working at it, but I also, this part of mastering a new skill, I feel like could be taken a little bit, differently, in the sense of like mastering a new skill. Like maybe I'm putting all my eggs in one basket and I need to branch out a little bit more. But anyways, I hope that's a little bit helpful. That has been your
Card of the show.
All right, we are going to go ahead and move on to our final song of the night. This is another song from the Late Night Bad Boy DJ Cheetah album called Evansville Topics OST, which you can find at latenitebadboi.bandcamp.com. This song is coming to us from Late Night Bad Boy, and this song is called Baby Yeah. It's the 4th song off the album. I think you'll really enjoy it, and we will be back with you after the song. So stay tuned to the Omnia Sol Art Show. But yes, here is the next song by Late Night Bad Boy. And we are back. Thank you to Late Night Bad Boy and DJ Cheetah for providing the music for today's episode, whenever you're watching, for the romance episode. And without further ado, we are going to go ahead and move to the part of the show where I read from a book, the fan favorite part of the show. People calling up the show, sending me emails, sending me letters, postcards, saying, hey, don't cut out this part of the show. This is my favorite part of the show. Every week I look forward to this part of the show. It, of course, is time for... It's time for words. It's time for words. It's time for words. On tonight's segment of words, we are actually going to be reading from... I think we've read this on the show in the past. I know we're reading one of the Orphic hymns again, and I know we've read a lot of the Orphic hymns on past shows, and I assume we have read this one before, with me being a Libra and Venus being the ruler of Libra. I assume we have read the Orphic hymn to Venus before on the show, but I thought with Venus being the planet of love, I could not go a show without reading the Orphic hymn to Venus. So that's what we're going to do. I should have looked it up beforehand. So let me figure out which Orphic hymn it is, and then I'll read it. All right. So I realized there's actually a couple different hymns I could read, because there, of course, is the Greek equivalent of Venus, the planet of love, the goddess of love, Aphrodite. But there is also Eros. So that's what I'm going to read first, is the Orphic hymn to Eros, the god of love, also known, I think also equivalent to Cupid, perhaps. But anyways, here is 58 for Eros. Incense, aromatics. I call the great, holy, lovely, and sweet Eros, winged and mighty archer. You rush forth swiftly over fiery paths, playing with the gods and mortal humans, skillful, two-natured, holding the keys to all things, of airy sky, ocean, earth, and the winds that create everything for mortals, fed by the goddess of green fruit and all things, wide. Tartaros holds the depths and the sounding sea. For you alone command the rudder of everything. But Blessed One, accompanying the purified minds of the worshippers, and drive from them strange and mean desires. Note, Eros is the god of sexual desire, but in keeping with the ascetic Orphic way of life, here he is asked to curtail such desires. All right, and since this is the romance episode, we are going to go ahead and read the Orphic hymn to the Greek equivalent of Venus, which is Aphrodite. So 55 to Aphrodite. O heavenly, much hymned Aphrodite, loving laughter, born from the sea, goddess of birth, lover of all night festivals, holy, nocturnal, and wily goddess, who binds, and mother of necessity. For everything exists because of you. You yoke together the whole universe, and govern 3 shares. You gave birth to all. What's in the sky, upon the fruitful earth, in the depths of sea, revered companion of Bacchus, taking joy in abundance, mother of Erotus, preparing weddings persuasion of the marriage bed. You give joy in secret, decked with love locks, visible and invisible, daughter of a great father. You join the bridal feast of the gods with a scepter, she-wolf, giver of birth, lover of men, longed for, giver of life. You yoked mortals with spells to unbridled needs, and many kinds of beasts to an erotic madness. Come, goddess born in Cyprus, whether you are on Olympus, divine queen, with gladness on your lovely face, or in Syria, with fine frankincense, seated on your throne, or even if, on the plains with golden chariots, you occupy the fruitful baths of sacred Egypt, or, coming in, swan-like carriages on the ocean waves, you rejoice, dancing in circles with beasts of the sea, or, if you are delighted with the dark-eyed nymphs in their holy land upon the shores of the sandy beaches, with the nimble sea salt, or in Cyprus, lady, land of your nursing, where lovely virgins and the unwed brides all year sing hymns to you and to immortal, holy Adonis. Come, blessed goddess, who has a very beautiful form, for I call you with a pious soul and these holy words. Note, while mostly Aphrodite is seen as a goddess of love, in her form of Aphrodite Urania, she was sometimes worshipped as a cosmic principle of order and fertility. The Epicurean philosopher Lucretius makes Venus her Roman counterpart, the goddess of nature, in his treatise on the nature of things. All right, thank you so much for listening. This has been another very successful segment of It's Time for Words, Words, Word. It's time for words, words, words. It's time for words, words, words. Words, words, words. All right, thank you all for tuning in to the Omnia Sol Art Show. Like I said before, there's probably millions, if not billions, of videos on the internet, on YouTube, on Netflix, and all the other streaming services out there. And you chose, out of all these other videos, you chose to watch the Omnia Sol Art Show, and that means that means the world to me. That really does mean the world to me that you tuned in. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to help out the show, like and subscribe. I know that's such a cliche to say on a YouTube video, but it really does help, especially subscribing, because one of my goals with the show is to one day get to 100 subscribers so I can have a custom URL, because YouTube doesn't let you have a custom URL until you have 100 subscribers. So we're getting there. So like and subscribe. If you like the show, tell a friend. Email it to your friends and family. You don't have to go that far, but if you have friends who you think would be interested, send them the link. If you want to support the show financially, patreon.com/Omnia Sol Art is where you can do that. And I'm thinking of making a new poster soon to send out to the Patreon patrons. And thank you so much to all the Patreon patrons. You really do keep the show going, because if it wasn't for the little financial help I get every month from Patreon patrons, I would have given up on the show a long time ago. But I really do enjoy making it, and I hope you enjoy watching it. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. The new issue of Locus Review, issue number 6, is coming out soon. I've got some art in it. There's some awesome poetry, fiction. There's a lot of visual art. There's a lot of cool stuff in Locus Review. So go to locusreview.com where you can subscribe to the the journal, if you want to call it. It's a newspaper, an art newspaper. And you can also watch, if you're not watching TOSAS on YouTube or on my website or on Side Street TV, you can watch it on Locus Review. It's up there too. So check that out. And we will be back with you next week on the Omnia Sol Art Show. Stay safe. Stay romantic. All right. Goodbye, y'all.